It's like this. 108 Dhamma Similes from Ajahn Chah, translated by Ajahn Jeff. A bird in a cage. Use the mind to contemplate the body so that you're familiar with it. When you're familiar with it, you'll see that it's not for sure. Every part of it is inconstant. When you see in this way, your mind will give rise to a sense of disenchantment, disenchanted with the body and mind because they're not for sure, they're unreliable. So you want to find a way out, a way to gain release from suffering and stress. It's like a bird in a cage. It sees the drawbacks of not being able to fly anywhere, so its mind is obsessed with finding a way out of the cage. It's fed up with the cage where it lives. Even if you give it food to eat, it's still not happy because it's fed up with the cage where it's imprisoned. The same with our heart. When it sees the drawbacks of the inconstancy, stressfulness, and not-selfness of physical and mental phenomena, it will try to contemplate how to escape from that cycle of wandering on. The power of the Dhamma. The teachings of the Buddha get rid of people and give rise to venerables. In other words, they get rid of what's wrong in the mind. Only then can what's right arise. They get rid of what's evil so that goodness can arise. As when your house is dirty, if you sweep it out and wipe away the dirt, it'll be clean, because the dirt is gone. As long as what's wrong in the mind isn't gone, what's right can't arise. If you don't meditate, you won't know the truth. The Buddha's Dhamma is very powerful. If it couldn't change your heart, it wouldn't be a Dhamma with any power. But the Dhamma can turn ordinary people into noble ones, because it enables people with wrong views to give rise to right views. Your own witness. With the Dhamma, it's like going to the home of friends or relatives, and they give you some fruit. When you take the fruit in your hand, you don't know whether it's sour, sweet, or unripe. In other words, if you simply hold the fruit in your hand, you can't know its taste. To know the taste, you have to bite into it and chew it. That's when you'll know that it's sour or sweet or what its various flavors are, in line with your own perceptions. It's the same with the Dhamma. In everything, the Buddha has you take yourself as your own witness. You don't have to take anyone else. The affairs of other people are hard to judge because they're the affairs of other people. If something is your own affair, it's easy, because the truth lies within you. It has you as its witness. When you hear the Dhamma, you have to meditate on it to be complete in study, practice, and attainment. Pariyatti is study so as to know. When you know, then patipatti. You put it into practice. With pativeda, attainment, knowledge in line with the truth arises within you. If you simply listen, your knowledge is just perceptions and concepts. If you talk about it, you speak in line with your concepts. You aren't bringing the truth out to talk about. This means you haven't reached the Dhamma, haven't contemplated the Dhamma. Your heart isn't Dhamma, but you can speak the Dhamma and act as if you were Dhamma. This is called being incomplete according to the standards of the Buddha's teachings. The language of the Dhamma. All languages come together in the language of the Dhamma. I'll give you a simple example. When we boil water for tea so that it's hot, the word hot in Thai is rawn. In Isan, it's horn. In English, they say hot. That's the way it is. Languages are like that. Each person speaks in his or her own language, even though it's all the same heat. If you want to find where all these languages come together, the language of heat all comes together, where we stick our finger into the tea. If you get a Chinese person to stick his finger into the tea, the heat is no different from when you get a Westerner or an English person to stick his finger into the tea. The only difference is in the language of the words. Heat is the same for everybody. When you know heat, it means that you know how it is for everyone. Open your eyes. People, if they don't feel pain, don't open their eyes. If they're happy, everything shuts down and they get lazy. When suffering stabs you, that's what gets you thinking, and you can really expand your awareness. The greater the pain, the more you have to investigate it to see what causes it. You can't just sit there and let the pain go away on its own. Right now, my arm feels heavy. Why? Because I've picked up this glass. If I let it go, the glass won't be heavy, or at least won't be heavy on me, because I'm not connected with it. The same with stress and pain. Why is it heavy? Why is it painful? Because you're holding on to it. But you don't understand that it's stressful. You think that it's something special, something good. When you're told to let it go, you can't let it go. When you're told to put it down, you can't put it down, so you keep on being heavy, keep on suffering. Dyeing the cloth. Our Lord Buddha wanted us to get our foundation in good shape first, get everything clear and clean first. It's like building a house or a building. We have to inspect the ground, the area where we're going to put up the building so that it's in proper shape. Or like dyeing cloth. If you want to dye a piece of cloth, you have to look it over to see if it's dirty. If it's dirty, you have to wash it in detergent until it's clean. Only then will it take the color when you dye it. In other words, wash it until it's clean, and then it will take the dye. It's the same with making merit. You first have to make your mind clean. Making your mind clean means letting go of evil thoughts, letting go of everything that's wrong and evil. That's when you can do good, do what's correct. With everything, the foundation has to be clean first, and then whatever you do will give rise to merit. Sabba papasa akaranam. First you have to abandon evil, abandon what's wrong, in the same way that you get rid of the dirt, so that you can dye your cloth. This is one of the lessons in the heart of the Buddha's teachings. Remove the weeds. For your vegetable to grow big and beautiful, you have to remove the weeds. That's when your vegetables will have a chance to grow large and beautiful, because you've removed the weeds. You've removed the bad things around the vegetables so the vegetables can grow. It's the same with our body, speech, and mind. If we remove our bad actions, then our goodness, our virtue, will grow. So take the precepts and follow them with restraint, with care. Why wait? As soon as there's anything unskillful in your thoughts, words, and deeds, remove it. Don't let it hang around for a long time. It's like a wound appearing in your body, or a thorn sticking into your foot. You want to remove it, but would it be better to remove it today or tomorrow? Or how about taking it out next week? Or suppose you get a stomachache today. A stomachache is painful, and you want the pain to go away. But do you want it to go away today? Or would tomorrow be better? Or would you rather wait for a week for it to go away? Awakening to the Dhamma. Reaching the Dhamma, awakening to the Dhamma. These things sound awfully exalted, too exalted to talk about. But actually, people like us are on a level where we can reach the Dhamma. Reaching the Dhamma is understanding, this is evil, it's wrong and doesn't benefit me or anyone else at all. When you understand in this way, that's called reaching the Dhamma of what should be abandoned. This is what's called awakening to the Dhamma. It's like going to a boat landing. When you've arrived at the landing, you've reached the landing. When you come up here to the meeting hall, you've reached the meeting hall. When you're correctly acquainted with the truth, that's what's meant by reaching the truth, reaching the Dhamma. When you've reached the Dhamma, your defilements gradually fade away and decrease. When your views are right, it's normal that you'll abandon your wrong views. Knowledge and goodness. Knowledge is like a knife. You hone it until it's sharp, really sharp. Then you put it away. The knife can cause both benefits and harm. When a person of discernment uses it, it's sharp. A person of discernment can get lots of benefits from it because it's sharp. But a person without discernment can use it to destroy the nation, destroy happiness, destroy harmony, all kinds of things. And he can do it easily because the knife is sharp. When knowledge comes to a fool, it's like putting a weapon in the hands of a bandit or an evil person. He'll shoot people all over the place, kill all over the place. When knowledge comes to a wise person, the nation and its people get along easily. These days we pin our hopes on knowledge. We worship knowledge. We rarely worship goodness or correctness. When you have knowledge, you need to have goodness and correctness as well. When you encourage these things, the world will go well. But here it's, I've got knowledge, so I'm in charge. In this way, everything goes to hell. That's what it's like when you have knowledge without goodness. Goodness without discernment. Skillfulness doesn't focus only on pleasure or happiness. It has to see where that happiness comes from and what it's like. You have to use your discernment to see what it comes from. Some people think that gaining a lot of wealth is goodness. Not gaining a lot is bad. It doesn't matter to them how you gain it, just as long as there's a lot. Suppose that after a while they decide that human skin fetches a high price. 1 kilogram fetches tens of thousands of baht. So another group goes out looking for human skins. Where could we live? We'd be killing one another all over the place simply to get skins to put up for sale, because human skin fetches a high price. These days, we look for our livelihood, thinking that the more we gain, the better. But if we gain it in a way that's not moral, would it be right? Every form of goodness has to be done with discernment. Any form of goodness done without discernment is harmful. Any form of goodness done with discernment is free of harm. Any form of goodness done without discernment is goodness outside the Buddha's teachings. It's like a person advertising poison for sale. He says, "My poison is good. If you feed it to a dog, the dog will die. If you feed it to a person, the person will die. If you feed it to a chicken, the chicken will die. Whoever you feed it to will all die. So buy my poison. It's good poison. If it's really good, you should try feeding it to the person selling it. But its goodness is that it kills. Whatever eats it dies. So he says it's good. If it's good, you should try feeding it to the person selling it. But would he eat it? He wouldn't eat it. He'd be afraid that it would kill him." That kind of goodness is goodness outside the Buddha's teachings. It's harmful goodness, filthy goodness, unclean goodness, goodness that's not peaceful. Goodness in line with the Buddha's teachings is goodness without harm. This is why, when you look for happiness in line with the Buddha's teachings, you have to do it with discernment. Genuine wealth. Silena Bhogasampada. A person with virtue has wealth. In terms of external wealth, all the things that we search out for our livelihood will be right livelihood. The things we gain from right livelihood, even if they're not much, are large. They're large because they have value. That's why they count as Bhogasampada, consummation in terms of wealth. Like diamonds and jewels, even tiny pieces have a high price because they're free of things that are worthless. All the things that we use to maintain our livelihood, if they're free of harm, they have value. They're wealth. Seeing the fullness. When you make merit, what is merit? It's correctness. In other words, it's bringing the mind to peace, away from all kinds of evil. All of you lay. People have gathered to make merit, but when you look for the merit, each of you has to look for yourself. These things you've brought here are objects, lots of different objects. It's like eating. You gain delicious tastes because of objects. But when you're full, where is the fullness? You don't know. The fullness doesn't have any substance, but everyone knows that you feel full. Some people don't see merit. Not seeing merit is like not seeing the fullness from eating. Suppose that we all eat a meal. We use up the curry, we use up the rice, we use up the sweets. And what do we gain? Fullness. Fullness isn't a thing, but it appears in the mind. That's what we gain. What does it come from? It comes from objects, from the activity of eating the objects. It's the same with merit. I've heard people say, "I've made merit, but I don't see that I've gained any merit." Apparently, these people eat, but without seeing any fullness. Don't you know what fullness is? Fullness is the result that comes from eating. The activity we're doing now is called making merit. It's a convention. The merit is in the mind's being serene and at ease. The teacup. I'll tell you a story about the Supreme Patriarch, something I've heard from other people. He went to China, and when he arrived, the Chinese gave him a teacup. It was really beautiful. There was nothing like it in Thailand. And as soon as he received the teacup, he suffered. Where was he going to put it? Where was he going to keep it? He put it in his shoulder bag. If anyone touched his shoulder bag, he'd say, "Watch out. Don't break the teacup. Watch out for the thing that can break in there." So he was always worried about it, suffering from it, suffering from having and then clinging. That's what made him suffer. One day, a novice let the teacup slip from his hand, and it broke. The Supreme Patriarch said, "At last. That's the end of my suffering." This is called events happening to free him from his suffering. If the teacup hadn't broken, he would have probably been reborn as a hungry ghost right there. It's like the things in your house. If there's nothing there, you suffer because you want to have things. You think that once you have things, you'll be comfortable. But once you have them, you still suffer because you're afraid they'll get lost. You don't understand the suffering that's already arisen. Pouncing on fire. We should all train our heart, look after our mind. Our mind, when it's not trained, is like a small, innocent child that doesn't know anything. Whatever it comes across, it pounces. If it comes across water, it pounces on the water. If it comes across fire, it pounces on the fire. It keeps causing harm to itself. Learning about fire. When you see the harm of what you're doing, you can stop. You watch it until you can stop, until you can give it up. It's like lighting a lantern and letting your child loose. The child doesn't know anything. It crawls over and tries to catch hold of the flame. Then it'll start crying. The next day, if you try to take the child to the flame, it won't touch it, for it's seen the harm from the day before. It'll stop trying to catch it. Right here is where insight helps us. We really see. Whatever we really see, we can really let go. Teaching from the top. The way we teach when we follow the Buddha's teachings is that virtue comes first, concentration comes in the middle, and discernment comes at the end. That's how we memorize these things. But with some people, you don't teach virtue first. You get them to sit until their minds are quiet. You don't yet talk about 1. Virtue, 2. Concentration, 3. Discernment. Have them sit until their minds are quiet. When they're quiet, they'll sense things on their own. It's as if there were a poisonous snake under a piece of cloth right here. We can stand on the cloth and feel relaxed because we don't know it's there. But when the mind is quiet, we'll sense that something is wrong. It's like this tree here. We're told to teach it beginning from the base, but we can also teach people to grab hold of the top first. As they follow along the tree, they'll get to the base. If you start with the base and follow along, you'll get to the top, because the base and top are part of the same thing. It's the same when you try to figure out how to teach some people. With concentration, when the mind is quiet, it'll sense that something is wrong. Discernment will gradually seep in, and the mind will gradually gain a sense of right and wrong. Drop after drop. When contemplating a meditation object, check to see which object is right for you. It's like food on a tray. You have to contemplate for yourself to choose which foods are right for the conditions of your body. In the same way, you choose a meditation object right for you, the in and out breath, or you can contemplate the body. In practicing, you have to keep at it gradually but steadily, like water that falls in drops, steadily into a big water jar. The jar doesn't dry out. The animals living in the jar don't die. If you contemplate the Dhamma themes of inconstancy, stress, and not self until you understand, it's like loosening a bolt in a counterclockwise direction. It's no longer so tight, so that you don't grasp at what's inconstant, stressful, and not self. Just right. Ever notice how the Buddha image is sitting? Is his head bent back? Is it hanging down in front? He's sitting there just right. So right now, let's make our bodies just right, our minds just right. If the mind and body aren't just right, there won't be any stillness. Have you ever noticed that things whose goodness isn't just right aren't really good? When things are good, it's because their goodness is just right in every way. You don't have to look far away. It's like the curry we eat. If it's too salty, is it good? If it's too bland, is it good? When a cook fixes curry, she puts everything together just right. She aims at just right. So today, let's make our bodies just right, our minds just right. Everything gathers in the ocean. The water in the ocean comes from little rivers. They flow into the ocean from different directions, but they all come together there. It's the same when we meditate. We all bring the mind to stillness, and then we practice not clinging. Big rivers, small rivers, all gather in the same ocean. It doesn't matter where they come from. They all gather in the ocean. We practice meditation to make the mind quiet and to stop clinging to the 5 aggregates. It's all the same, so you don't have to worry about it. If you see that this method is easier than that one, you can take this one. If you see that another method is easier, you can take that one. It's just a matter of what's right for your propensities. Coconut water, the crude, beginning level of the practice, is a little hard to maintain, but the refined levels of virtue, concentration, and discernment all come out of this. It's as if they're distilled from this same thing. To put it in simple terms, it's like a coconut tree. A coconut tree absorbs ordinary water up through its trunk, but when the water reaches the coconuts, it's sweet and clean. It comes from ordinary water, the trunk, the crude dirt. But as the water gets absorbed up the tree, it gets distilled. It's the same water, but when it reaches the coconuts, it's cleaner than before, and sweet. In the same way, the virtue, concentration, and discernment of your path are crude. But if the mind contemplates these things until they're more and more refined, their crudeness will disappear. They get more and more refined, so that the area you have to maintain grows smaller and smaller into the mind. Then it's easy. Patience. Desire is something known right at the mind. We're like fishermen who go out to cast their nets. As soon as they catch a fish, they rush to pounce on it, which scares the fish away. The fishermen are afraid that the fish will escape from the net. When that's the case, the fish are confused and hard to control, and so they quickly escape from the net. This is why people in the past taught us to gradually feel our way along, to keep at it gradually and steadily. When you feel lazy, you do it. When you feel diligent, you do it. If you keep doing it a lot, then as soon as you find the quiet path, the mind will calm down. When you practice, you're taught to keep at it. Don't give up. When you feel diligent, you do it. When you feel lazy, you do it. But you have to practice like a person spinning a fire stick. If you start and stop, and start again because you're impatient, you won't get anywhere because of your impatience. When you practice, you don't need to think about a lot of things. Just survey right at yourself. You don't have to survey anywhere else. If you see yourself, you see other people. It's like aspirin and Tylenol. If you know one, you know the other, because they're both meant to cure the same illness. They're both painkillers. People who practice and those who study like to criticize each other, but it's like putting your hand palm up and palm down. When it's palm down, the palm hasn't gone away anywhere. It's right there, just that we don't see it. If you study without practicing, you don't see things for what they are, and that can make you deluded. The Dhamma in a pot. When cooked rice is just sitting in the pot, what purpose does it serve? If we don't practice with it, if we don't spoon it onto a plate, add a little curry and pepper sauce, and then eat it, what purpose will it serve? Even though the rice is good. The Buddha's teachings are the cooked rice in a pot. If we just keep the teachings there in the pot, what purpose will they serve? They just stay there in the pot. If you cook good jasmine rice and then just set it high on the table, will it give you any flavor? Will it make you full? We take the Buddha's teachings and simply set them high in the world without practicing them. We keep on bowing down to them. If we really bow down, it means we believe them. We trust them. If we believe and trust them, we have to practice in line with them. That's when the Buddha's teachings will serve a purpose. They depend on each and every one of us to practice them. Chickens coming to the monastery. Some people come to the monastery, but never come to the meditation hall to hear the Dhamma. They sit way out there, chatting with their children and grandchildren, and don't understand anything. This isn't coming into the monastery like people. This is coming into the monastery like chickens. Chickens bring their baby chicks into the monastery, scratching around for dog shit and pig shit. They're not looking for anything else. This is not the right way to come to a monastery. It's coming into the monastery without seeing the monastery. Coming into the monastery without seeing monks. It's like a fish living in water without seeing water, or an earthworm living in the dirt eating the dirt but not seeing the dirt. It's the same with us. We come into the monastery, but we're not acquainted with the monastery. We come into the monastery without reaching the monastery. This gives rise to problems, not only for us, but also for our children and grandchildren. We say that coming to the monastery gives rise to merit, and that it's something that human beings have to do. We see our parents coming to the monastery, and we simply follow along. As a result, when we're in our 40s or 50s and someone teaches the Dhamma, speaks about the practice, about the Buddha, Dhamma or Sangha, we don't understand anything. We don't know anything at all. thieves, Hairi, a sense of shame, and a tapa, a sense of compunction. These are qualities that protect the world, but they can protect the world only because we practice them. If we don't practice them, they don't protect anything. Some Westerners have called me on this. They say, "You live in Thailand. Thailand is a Buddhist country, so why does it have so many thieves?" I admit that it's true. Thailand has lots of thieves, but it's people who are thieves. The Dhamma isn't a thief. It's probably the same in the West. Not only in Thailand do we have dishonest people, they're thieves. There are good laws, and morality is still good. So I admit that there are thieves in Thailand, but the Dhamma isn't a thief. The blind person. Venerable Father, what is white like? It's like white lime. What is white lime like? It's like a pale sky. What's a pale sky like? This never comes to an end because you don't know the truth. Fish live in the water, but don't see the water. Earthworms live in the dirt, but don't see the dirt. Not seeing yourself, not knowing the truth, is like a person living with his skeleton and getting frightened by skeletons because he doesn't see the truth. Listening to the Dhamma gives lots of merit in that it helps you to see that there's a thorn in your foot. As soon as you see it, you take it out. The people who don't benefit from listening to the Dhamma are those who don't know the cause of stress, don't know the cessation of stress, and don't know the practices leading to the cessation of stress. In other words, they don't really know suffering because they don't contemplate it. Don't run along. Meditation means contemplating in a way that solves problems at the same time. Look at yourself a lot. Keep track of the mind, your sensitivity, your thought fabrications. Actually, all your thoughts are an affair of fabrication. To put it in simple terms, don't run along with them. Don't follow in line with them. They're just an affair of mental fabrication. Fabrications fabricate things, now wanting this, now wanting that. Try to fix your attention on keeping track of their stages as they're happening. Whatever they're about, they're all not for sure, each and every one. When you see this clearly, that will end your doubts. Whatever thoughts arise, know that they're not for sure. Don't go attaching meaning to them, and they'll end on their own. When they don't end, make them end. And that's the end of the matter. They're just an affair of fabrication. If we don't understand, we'll think that they're an affair of discernment. Actually, our thoughts and ideas are all an affair of fabrication. They're not genuine knowing. But we think that they're knowledge that doesn't let go. If knowledge is genuine, it lets go. The salt of meditation. Generosity and virtue are like meat. Meditation is like salt. For the meat to keep without spoiling, you have to salt it. Meditation is what makes your generosity correct, makes your virtue correct. That's why meditation is something of very high value. It's the ultimate perfection. Complete food for the mind. Virtue, concentration, and discernment are like our food. If virtue were food, we'd say that it's sweet but without any richness. If you add concentration, that adds some richness. Now it's both sweet and rich. It's good that way. But if all you have is sweet and rich, it's still not complete. It has to be good smelling too. If you have all three, then the food is complete. Whether it's inner food or outer food, it's complete. Sweet, rich, and good smelling. It makes you want to eat your fill. That's what it's like.